Last time I solved my custom sound issues by the use of TVs, planned out my metal processing factory, but I only got as far as producing quartz. And today I want to see how much more of this factory I can get built. Starting over here, where we're going to be taking the quartz we produced last time, as well as some cobble, and converting that into andesite and diorite, and eventually Tuff, which will get us all the way up to here on our factory diagram, meaning we'll only have a little bit of processing left to do. But for that, I'm going to need a whole bunch of mechanical crafters, funnels, belts, mechanical arms, and basically a whole lot of stuff I don't have at the moment. Well, I guess we're opening with a crafting montage today. Now to make diorite, we need to use mechanical crafters to mix 2 bits of cobble and 2 nether quartz together. So if we just start off creating a line of these, if we just have those craft like this and then go into this vault, that should work nicely. And they are, of course, going to need to be powered. So let's work that out as well. Then I guess we're going to need 2 mechanical arms for each one of these. That's going to be a lot of mechanical arms. I wonder, maybe we can do it in pairs? So we'll have 1 mechanical arm that's just putting cobble into 2 machines, and another one that's just putting quartz into 2 machines. That should work okay. We'll link them up properly later once we've got all the belts in, but in theory, that should work. Then we just need input funnels on the backs of all of these. That one's also going to need power. All right, that should work. So next up, we're going to need a couple of belts that are going to bring everything in. So if we put one here, we'll just stretch those over to there for now. In fact, I'm going to move this another block further over. So then what I can do is put in a clutch, and that's how we'll control the diorite factory. Next up, I need to bring the quartz across. Let's bring that over this way, and we'll just use chutes to bring that down. So that'll bring the quartz in. Now we just need to bring over some cobble. Alrighty, that should be the cobble coming down. But I think I want more than just 2 of these making diorite. So we're going to extend this out and add maybe another 2 units like this. And a few minutes later, everything is sorted. I've also set up all of these arms to sort of collect from the belts and to put them into the different parts of the machines. That should all work. All I need to do now is turn on the cobble tap, which should be as simple as doing this. And then I need to do the same for the quartz. Now that should start making what we want. Yep, here we go. It's all starting to fill up. And that's going to make us a whole bunch of diorite. So next up, we need to sort out what's happening with that diorite. So we're going to send it off this way, and then all the way around to the back here, because we're going to need cobble and diorite in order to make andesite. So let's get these belts in, and funnels on those vaults. Excellent. We do also need to store some of this diorite, however. So we'll stick one of them there, and we'll just have that go into a small vault. And there we go. That should do the trick. And now we just need to make andesite. So this should be fairly simple. So if we were to have, say, 5 mixing bowls, then we'll stick a vertical gearbox in here, connect that to there. Stick in a cog, because we're going to need some mechanical arms here. 2 should be enough though. So we want the first one to take diorite from there and put it into these bowls here. And there we go. He's doing that. Excellent. And the next one, we want them to take cobble and do the same thing. Chuck it in these bowls. Excellent stuff. Now we just need to raise this up another bit and get a whole bunch of mixers, which I don't think I made. Nope, we have no mixers whatsoever. Let's go flatten some iron. Now we can make a bunch of whisks and some mechanical mixers, and that should now be making andesite. Yep, look at that. Although, I think I want to push all this back another one. I need to be able to put a clutch in it. There we go. That should just about do it. And then we've got our andesite going through here, so that should be going into the item vault and also this way. Nope. Nope, doesn't seem to want to go this way. How about that? There we go. And then that's going to give us diorite and andesite over here, which we need to make Tuff. And considering we're only 4.5 minutes into the video, I'd say we're making some pretty good progress. Now, to make Tuff, we just need to mix together our andesite and diorite with some lava, and we have the andesite and diorite right here. So what we're going to do is put in maybe 3 bowls, and we'll put those directly on top there. Actually, let's raise these up by a block. Means we can probably get away with just a single pipe underneath. Then I want 2 depots here. here. Brass funnels, that'll eject all of our andesite and diorites. And what we'll do is steal a little bit of power from around the back here. Get that linked up. Stick in a vertical gearbox with a cog on top. And we're going to use mechanical arms to take the andesite from there and put it into these three. And the cobble from there and put it into these three. Although now I need a few more mixers, and I didn't make enough the first time, so let's go flatten some more iron. Woo! I've just seen my arm and realised I'm wearing my Christmas outfit. And that's because I just spent the weekend recording an event with the community, which will be in a video that comes out tomorrow. So we're taking part in the Yogscast Jingle Jam event this year. We're representing Calm. So we have a video coming out tomorrow where the community built an awesome Christmas village on a plot world. And we're doing a fundraising live stream on Friday where we're going to be decorating a giant Christmas tree. Oh, it's going to be a wonderful week. So make sure you keep an eye on the channel and tune into all the fun things. But I should probably go get changed. It's technically still November. There we go. Back in my normal clothes again. Now, what were we making? It was mixers, wasn't it? And we're going to put those directly on here. There we go, that's got all those spinning. I just need to actually pump the lava over here now, and I think the best method for that is probably just going to be to go underground. So if we just jump down here, we'll send a pipe all the way over to the lava pit. Just going to link that up to there. And look at that, we're now making Tuff. This is good. Now what I want to do is just get that into a nice big vault. So if we just do this, get a belt in there, and there we go. That's all of our Tuff being collected. So that's the factory working all the way up to making Tuff, but currently it's a dumb factory and we need to make it a smart factory. So we want to be able to turn things on and off as and when we need them. And we're going to need to be a little bit cleverer about it this time because we've also got sort of these storage containers here. And I don't want, for example, this one to fill up and turn off the farm because then it means we're not going to be making andesite for the Tuff machine. And same with the diorite. I need to make sure that we've got diorite going into both these places all of the time. The question is, how am I going to do that? I think I've got a plan, but let's just quickly work out the logic for this over here. So, for example, if we have diorite that's going into two different places, imagine these are threshold switches on top of containers. They're going to check how much stuff is in each one. When it gets full, it's going to send out a redstone signal. And this one is going to do the same thing. And then on the receiving side, we've got a clutch. Yes, I'm fully aware that's actually an encased chain drive, but I don't have any clutches on me right now. You're just going to have to use your imagination. But we're going to raise that up by a block just to make our life a little bit easier. Now, I'm sure there's a technical name for the kind of circuit we're about to make. I think it's called an AND gate or something like that, maybe. Because what we want to do is we only want to turn off this clutch if both of these, so this one and this one, are sending out a signal. But it would help if I had some redstone, which I don't. So I'm hoping something like this should work, because if we then put these two redstone things here, just going to give them all a signal of double redstone for now to keep my life nice and simple. Grab a couple of levers for testing, and set these to receive. So if this was a clutch, this torch here should only come on if both of these have got a signal, which will disable both the redstone torches. So if we flick this switch... Ah, dang it. So let's just rectify that problem by actually giving these different signals. Clever beardy. So now when just one of them fills up, nothing will happen. The machine will keep running, but as soon as I flick this switch, this will then disable the clutch. So this is how we need to implement things, basically, which means I do need to put in a small storage thing here, so we've actually got something to read for the diorites. So if we just put that in there and grab some funnels, we'll have an input there and an output there. Then that means we can put threshold switches on this one and this one to read for the diorites, and then this one and this one to read for the andesites. And then I also need to put in a clutch for this system here, which we'll probably just squeeze in under there, so that when the Tuff is full, that turns off this machine. And then I need to link it all up to the power station as well. But until I make myself some more threshold switches, I'm not going to be doing much of anything. So I'm just going to potter around and get all of these boring powery bits in, and once it's all up and running, I'll bring you back and we'll start making lots of shiny stuff. A short while later, and I've got it all sorted out, although I did actually change it in the end. I didn't need an AND gate. What I've done is I've just added a buffer box on each of the single lines. So on this single line of diorite here, this is the box that's being read. Right, okay, that box was full and the scaffolding wasn't actually stopping the blocks, so they were kind of like bouncing around. That's good to know, and tells me I probably need to make a couple of other changes around here. Now that's going to start backfilling this box, and when this box gets full, it's going to turn off the diorite thing, which is good. Although I think this might have only backed up because we had everything turned off, but now this is back on, it should all filter out, I guess. I don't think we're going to end up with too much backed up here. It says as it backs up quite a lot. But the good news is we're making Tuff, and we're making it pretty quickly. Lovely. Next up, we need to process the tuff, and that's going to be in this building over here. But before we do that, there's a couple of things I want to do. One of which is fix this floor where I put the pipe in and made all the gravel fall out. Let's just quickly do that. And next up, I think I want to get this factory wrapped in a building. It doesn't need to be anything too big. I think just a single-story warehouse type building would do this. That should work quite nicely. It's not perfect by any means, but it's certainly a good start. It's still lacking most of the detail, it needs some texture on the roof, and I still need to finish off the interior. Although I have added a few safety bars up here and there, and also got all of the things we need transporting through. So we've actually got this belt that runs all the way around the outside. This is the one that actually connects up, and we'll be bringing in the gold ingots. And they're just going to go right around the outside of this factory building and into the next one for storage. We're also bringing up the andesite here, so we can make some andesite alloy in the next building, and we're bringing up the tuff, because, well, that's what we're going to be crushing to get most of our resources. And we're going to be doing that in this building over here. We just need to bring them across. I have had to alternate the tunnels here, because otherwise things get split between all the belts, and we don't need that. But the brass ones and the andesite ones actually work independently of each other, so we don't get any crossover. It's just a good way to keep things separated. First things first though, this is the belt we want to be thinking about, because this is the one that carries the tuff. Let's bring that over to here. We'll just rotate that round and give it a belt. We're actually going to make that belt just a little bit longer. Stick an additional belt in next to it. A couple of tunnels on top. But I would think 2 grinding wheels will be able to keep up once it gets through the initial backlog. Or crushing wheels, I should say. Do I have any left? I don't think I do. Nope, no crushing wheels whatsoever. Let's go make some of those. Alright, crushing wheels acquired. So what we're going to do is have a couple of chutes there. If we put crushing wheels there and there, stick another chute on the bottom of each of those. Got a some coming out the bottom here. Let's just get all this looking nice as well. And we're going to take everything we get out of here and stick it into a vault. It doesn't need to be a big one, it's only a holding area, so that should do nicely. And then what we want to do is have a bunch of belts and filters. In fact, we've used quite a lot of belts. Let's reduce the use of those a little bit. Still going to need one here. But let's use some item drains instead for a change. And then they're going to need to feed into basins, just like that. They can throw out their goods into probably storage drawers. Finally, at this point. Let's just put 4 of those in. Because ideally, I don't want this machine to stop until the iron is full, which means everything else, we're still going to collect it all, obviously, but we will just void the excess. Because iron is the thing we're going to be using the most of, and there's not really any other way to control when to turn this thing on and off, other than, well, measuring how full these boxes are. But if we're not using much copper, but we are producing loads, I don't want it to stop all the iron production and so on. So yeah, we're just kind of guessing that we're going to use iron more than anything else. Especially considering we're also going to be using iron to sort out the andesite alloy. Oh, in fact, thinking about it, we want to make brass as well. This setup might not work. Let's just remove all this and we'll rethink it. Let's tackle these things one at a time. First off, let's sort out the iron ingots, or nuggets I should say, so we'll have them come out this way, and then we need to split that into 2 different belts. A couple of those should do that just fine. We want one of those belts just to make us some iron ingots, and the rest of it we need to put into a mixing bowl to make andesite alloy, so we also need to get andesite in this one somehow. That's coming in on that gold line there. That probably won't be too difficult. I'm sure we can work something out. First up though, let's get the mechanical presses in for the iron. Now let's get this andesite. So maybe we can just do that, and I think I'm gonna need to make myself some more belts. Do I have any kelp anywhere? I was sure I had some on me, but apparently not. Let's go get some more belts. Because I have to fly all the way back again. There we go, there's some in the smoker, that'll do. Although that only gave me 7 belts. Let's get a bit more while we're here. 41, that's more like it. Right, now, where can we bring that belt down to? Here, that should be perfect. Have that as the input. That's the output. And we'll make sure stuff doesn't fly off the end and also make it look nicer. Got to encase all the things. So we just need to add a couple of filters. So that one there will be for iron nuggets. Don't need filters on any of these. Probably doesn't need it, but we'll tell this one that it's making ingots, and this one that it's making andesite alloy. And thankfully, powering this should be fairly easy. Even easier if I can put these in the right way. So first up, let's just get the belts running. There we go, that's all that sorted. But for things like the grinding wheels, I want to have these on a sort of separate system, really. One that I can actually turn on and off. So we're going to start by nabbing some power from up the top here. Link that up to those belts. In fact, if I put a couple of gearboxes in there, then this is where we can put our clutch, and this is where we'll control all the actual machinery in here, because I do want to keep the belts on a separate system. So now we can just get a couple of these in. Get those powered, and they are going the incorrect way, I think. Let's just stick another gearbox in here. There we go, that's better. And we'll figure out where these belts are going to go in a little while. We've got some other stuff to process first, but we don't actually need the nuggets for anything. So this time we can put these three directly into bowls and turn them into ingots first. We will use item drains here. And I'm going to need to go grab some bits that we can use for filters, but at least we know where they're going for now. We want entrance funnels on this side. So if we make gold in the first one, that doesn't actually need any further processing, so that's good just to go to there. But the copper and the zinc, we need to split those up because we then need to make brass. If I make this belt here a little bit longer, in fact, let's think about this. I'm probably better off pulling this one out the side, like that, because then what I can do is I can put brass funnels on those, or tunnels, I should say, and then have those feed into a basin that makes us brass. So let's run a little test here. If I chuck on iron, will that go on the item drains? Oh, nope. Went straight into my backpack. Let's try that again. Will it split onto the drains? It will. Okay, cool. That means we can use less belts. So on this spot here, we're going to need lava and a blaze burner. Go find lava first. It should be off in this direction. There it is. If I find the right backpack, I should have loads of pipes somewhere. Yep, there we go. We'll connect up that bit last because we're not silly. We've made that mistake before. Let's stick a blaze burner on there, and now we can safely connect up the pipe. That would help if I did it in the right place. There we go. Then I need one more basin, a couple more inputs, and a mixer. So that should sort out the brass ingots. So that means we've got iron, andesite alloy, copper in this one. What's in this one? Gold. Gold will be in this one. Spin that round the right way so our brass comes this way, and then this will be copper or zinc, whatever I didn't say already. Let's just go grab some bits to make the filters, and then it'll make a whole lot more sense to you and me. Oh, although I do need to quickly add the smashers on here as well. There we go. And we'll sort out power for those things in just a moment. We're probably going to take it from there, I'd imagine. Let's not get too distracted. Let's get the filters in before I set it all up, turn it on, and it all explodes. I mean, it won't be that dramatic, but it will still be awkward. Okay, so let's make sure we're getting these filters correct. I want to have copper on that one, then zinc, then gold. That one's going to make gold. That one's going to make zinc, and whoop, that one's going to make copper. Oh, we need to power that belt. A couple of gearboxes should do that. Oh, no, just one. There we go. So they're going to come through here, get split, go into here, and this one's going to be making brass. Now, let's quickly sort this power out. We want to make sure it's on the same system as these grindstones. So let's grab it from the back here, and we can just stick in a couple of vertical gearboxes. That should solve that. Oh, in fact, I always forget it's much cheaper to use chain drives for things like that. There we go. But I also want to stretch this power over to here. There we go, so they're powered. With that, I think we're almost good to go. There's just one more thing we need to sort, and that is the excess gold we have. So let's get some chutes down first off. I want to get a couple of shafts in here. We need to get the gold from over there. Oh, in fact, there it is there. It's already coming out. And we need to bring it up and eventually get it to there. So if we connect all of this up, certainly not the tidiest belt work I've ever done, but it'll do the job. There we go. That'll bring the gold across to, well, currently over here, floating in nothingness. It's almost, but not quite where we want it. Now what I need to do for this is sort out some storage, and I think the most sensible thing to do is just dump it all onto one belt and send it into a drawer system. So we're going to need to make ourselves a drawer controller, a drawer controller slave, and I think we've already got some drawers, so at least we don't need to make those, I guess. Back to the park. So we'll stick a drawer controller here with a drawer controller slave on top, and then we'll have a nice wall of drawers. Now if I just give this belt here some power, that's going to start bringing our gold in for us. Oh, and in fact, I've just noticed we haven't powered this. So that should be fairly simple. Let's just use that power there, turn that vertical, and add a cog. There we go. Perfect. Now here's the big test. We need to add andesite and tuff, and hopefully this thing should start producing everything. Oh, it looks like we've got some ingots coming through. It's not the fastest, but at least we're getting stuff. Let's just leave this running for 10 minutes and see how much we get. Well, after staring at that thing for a few minutes, I did make the realization that I put completely the wrong thing in here. It needs to be a mixer, not a press, because we weren't getting any andesite alloy whatsoever. Sure, I had more mixers somewhere. Yep, there we go. So that is going to make the power situation a little bit more awkward. Should be able to solve this, though, with a few chain drives. If we do that, put a cog there. There we go. Now we're getting andesite alloy. That's all powered nicely as well. Good. Now we should get loads of andesite alloy. Well, it's been running for 10 minutes or so. I'd say we're getting a reasonable amount of stuff in. I'm certainly happy with that. Also added in a threshold switch here just so we can turn off the machine once the iron box is full. As I say, these boxes hold so much stuff that when this is full, we're definitely going to have enough of everything else. So with that done, if we go have a look at our factory diagram, or not, it's crawling with mobs. There we go, they've all mysteriously disappeared. But if we have a look at this, we are now producing all of these things, although we could probably do with bringing some quartz over, so we've actually got quartz on that wall as well. But we're producing all of these ingots. The only thing left is diamond. And that's pretty much just a standalone factory made from birch trees, or at least we get the diamonds from birch trees. And we'll do that in this building over here, which means, I guess, we've got a spare building. I'm sure we'll find something to do in this corner. For now, though, we're fast running out of time for this episode, so what I want to do is get this building all sorted out, because, well, it's just a platform at the moment. And it'll be nice to have this one looking good as well, and then next episode, we'll hopefully get the rest of this area finished. And I guess this build's going to be a bit of a first-person montage, because the other PC is currently rendering out a 59-hour replay mod of what we did over the weekend with Jingle Jam. And it was a lot of fun hanging out with Duncan and Harry from Yogscast, and of course Michael from Calm. That video's out tomorrow, so make sure you check that out. Anyway, on with the building. Guess who went to make a cup of tea and didn't hit record when he came back? Yeah, it was me. It was totally me. And it's times like this I really miss having a replay mod for Forge, because that would have solved my problem. But either way, we have a building in now. We have our third factory building in this area, and this one's a bit more of a modern building compared to the others. It was actually built a little bit later in the story of, I can totally remember the name of this place. Yep, Murphy Processing, that was it. Yep, this in the story of Murphy Processing, they had to expand, you see. They started small, they got slightly bigger, they expanded further, and they just kept making their compound bigger and bigger. But I think this area is coming along quite well. I just need to get the final building in here for the diamond factory, and then decide what I'm going to do in that corner over there, which I do have a bit of an idea for, but I want to see what you guys come up with. So let me know in the comments what you think we should put here. It's quite a small building, so whatever we make in this building is going to need to be, well, quite compact, I guess. So let me know your thoughts. But anyway, yes, this building, I think it's looking pretty good. We've got a bit of detail on the inside as well. I've just put in some catwalks so you can actually get around and see how the machines are doing, see what's going on. And I've left the upstairs open at the moment because I think I do want to bring over the quartz as well. And of course, we're also going to bring over the diamonds, and we're just going to store everything on this wall out the front here, at least for now. Once we have a big old storage unit in this area, I'll actually transport them all to a central position, but for now, they're just going to live here. On the outside, we've got some pipes and tanks on this towery type building. A little bit of detail down this side here, because we do have a road entrance on this side, which we might fence off. I might not actually use it as an access point. Once again, I don't really know until we start getting vehicles in that are going to be taking all the goods around where they need to go. But it's nice to have a few entrances here for options, because I don't know how tightly I'm going to be able to get the rail up here. But overall, I'm very pleased with how that's come out, and I'm looking forward to getting this area finished in the next episode. But sadly, that's all we've got time for today. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye now. And don't forget about the Jingle Jam stream Friday. It's going to be a lot of fun. Come hang out.